Guys, can you hear me? Bruce, can you hear me? Is the microphone working? What you wearing tonight, Bruce? Wait for one or two more people to chime in here. I'm wearing that grit automatic Monarch. This is actually a pretty killer watch. Actually been wearing this a good bit lately. But can you hear me? Is the mic working okay, Bruce? Or do I need to turn it up? Is there nobody? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Bruce? But like I said, I'm wearing this. I've been wearing this a good bit. Check out or look for a review on this guy coming up pretty soon. This is the Grit Automatic Monarch. Kind of reminds me like an AP. What's up, Jack? But is it kind of reminds me of AP? This is actually really wears really comfortably with the integrated strap. New company. But anyways, guys, what's up, Craig? Thanks for joining in, guys. Like I said, I basically just want to talk a little bit about the Sinn versus Oris. I feel like I know they're completely different brands, but I feel like those are pieces that a lot of people, at least that's what I look. What's up, Bobby? At least those are pieces that I looked at when I was first getting into entry level luxury watches. Was the Sinn, which I do have my a trusty 104. Still loving that piece. It's still got to be my favorite piece, one that I probably won't get rid of. And then I still do have this, the Aquas, the Great Barrier Reef for sale. I know these are two completely different watches, but like I said, I feel like they have a lot of parallels because, like, for one, is the price range is usually anywhere from like 1,000 to 2,000. Some of their special models are a little bit more, but they both offer a wide variety of pieces on both their lineups. Everything from palettes watches to diving watches to just plain dress watches, except for Zen doesn't really have a dress watch per se. Maybe the 556 could be considered a dress watch. The Zen is more of a utilitarian look, which I like, and the Oris is more on the luxury status kind of plain, I guess you would say. And with the Oris, they're getting more into the higher end. Of course, you guys saw their new Pro palette. I think it's what, like $7,000. And at first, I didn't really like it. It's starting to grow on me a little bit. But I feel like Oris is going more towards the Omega kind of price range and all that and above. Whereas I feel like Zen is kind of staying the same. They did raise their prices a little bit earlier this year. What's up, Dane? They did raise their prices a little bit earlier this year, which kind of sucked, but they really didn't raise them that much. Not like, $500, $600 like Rolex just did. But that's basically why I was saying like Zen and Oris. Happy New Year to you guys too. I hope you guys all had a safe one. What's up, Mike? But I feel like they're all, like I said, they're all within the same price range that a lot of people would be looking at in their first entry level luxury piece. Like I said, that $1,000 to the $2,000, a little bit above mark on both brands. The Zen and Oris are both. They are independent brands, which are hard to pass by this time in year. As we know, most brands are owned by Swatch or something else, RDM, whatever else they're owned by. But they are similar in that they are independent brands. They still do offer a lot of watch for the money, which is really good. And they are similar that a lot of their movements are the same. What's up, James? A lot of their movements are the same, as in they do have a lot of Selena movements or modified Selena movements. So they do use a lot of the same movement. Some cases, like in the special version of this, I think like the green dial, the limited run green dial, maybe the blue dial of this, I think run uses edit movement. But this one here that I have is the Selena movement, modified Selena movement. But I feel like Zen offers a lot of. I'm with you, Bobby. I kind of prefer Zen. Now this video is more on the subjective side because it's what approach you like. Whether you like the utilitarian look, which the Orange Monster was my first real watch that got me into collecting, and I prefer that kind of utilitarian look. So I lean more towards Zen. Whereas the Oris lineup, I feel like I said, is a little more luxurious on the luxurious side. But like I said, and they're both in the same price range. I'm going to do a little screen share here, and I'll go over the different models on the Sinn. Let me know, guys, if you guys can see this. I'm going to go over and look at the screen. Start with their chronographs, of course. You have the Sinn 103 here, which I don't have any experience, but I do believe that Sinn worked with Bell and Ross on a watch. My buddy Alvaro has one of their watches that Bell and Ross had that was worked with Sinn. That's another thing about Sinn is they have worked with other brands. Could you guys see that screen when I went over there? But they do have the other brands. They have worked with Bell and Ross, and they bought, as you know, on the 903, 904. I'll get that here in a little bit. The chronograph is a Navitimer. Essentially, they bought the rights to the Navitimer, I believe, in the 70s. So Sinn does have that history working with other brands. Here's the 103. They have so many different options. These are a little more on the pricey side, but still great watches. As I mentioned, give Watchbox credit for this. This is the Sinn 103 titanium. They have all kind of different variations, different versions, all kind of different pieces here. And of course, as you know, here's my Sinn 104. They have a couple different versions here. They have the numeral and then the non-numeral, which is the one I have. That is down here. They have all kind of different new color variations, like the Antarctic, the Sunburst dial. The new blue dial, which that blue dial is really killer. I feel like, of course, you know, I'm a no date kind of guy. I feel like the only thing that would make the Sinn 104 a perfect watch would be a no date, a clean version. And here is the version I have. I don't have the matte version, but I have the black version. This should be further down here. There's the version I have right here. STSA on the strap. I got it with the strap because I knew I would end up changing out all kind of different NATOs and all that. I feel like they're really versatile pieces. And then here's the white dial. I thought about getting the white dial, but when I did, they were sold out, which luckily I'm kind of glad I did. And then here is the Sinn 140, one of the lesser known watches, which is a pretty cool chronograph, especially it's a little on the pricey side, under $5,000. And only a watch guy or girl is going to know what a Sinn is. And then here's the 144, which kind of reminds me like a Porsche design kind of watch. That kind of reminds, if you know those watches. And here's one of the more dressy watches, the 1730 Classic. One of their more dressy approaches there. And here's the 206, one of their new bezel releases. It's pretty cool. This kind of reminds me, like I said, Breitling, and they have worked with Breitling before. If you want the Breitling look, but a little bit cheaper, sometimes a little bit cheaper, you can go with Sinn. Of course, the limited editions are a little bit more. They're going to be a little bit more. You may be able to pick one that is pretty cheap. Then you got the 240 right here, which is kind of like a 70s kind of driving inspired kind of look. It looks like, at least to me. And of course, the 3006. And then you got the 356, the Fligger. Then you got that kind of, it's almost like a, I don't want to say mocha kind of dial, but you can't see what I'm seeing? Let me try that again, guys. Sorry about that. All right. Not working, because that was kind of the point behind you guys, all the different lineup. Let me see here. Can you see it now? Let me try it now. See it now? Can you see no one right now here? Can you see that? But it's basically with the, I'll get back to Sinn. Like I said, Oris is Orius side. You have the big pro pilot date over here. You have the Aquas, the legendary Aquas, which is really killer. This is the Great Barrier Reef 3. I have the too. This is the new version here, which is really cool. I love that blue. It's almost like a teal blue. And you have the Movember edition 2018 here. And then the Divers 65 here. You can see here I had an older version of this. My buddy Sam had let me in. It was really killer. If you like that vintage kind of vibe, these range from about $1,500 to about $2,200, depending on whether you get the bracelet, the leather, or the Tropic strap. He had the Tropic strap on his, the kind of blue dial with these kind of numbers going around here, the vintage look, which is really cool. That tropical strap is really comfortable. And like I said, you have Oris has mainly divers, and then you have the new bronze, which I'm not usually a bronze fan. If you guys can see that here, I think Bruce Williams, this is out of stock here, but Bruce Williams, I think, just got to pick up one of these. I think he likes his. This retails for $1,920, which you can probably get him a little bit cheaper. Maybe even work out a price from the AD. Basically, you guys see it now, but basically, like I said, both these back over here by his website, just to show you the Zinns. Here's the 356 Flieger where I left off here. Zinn does have a lot of chronographs, and they are a little bit more expensive, but I feel like the best bang for buck watch that you can get out there is the 104 that I have. And I've had a couple different ones. I've thought about getting this one, the 556, for $1,500, just because it's a clean dial and it's got that kind of sterile kind of look. It's really clean for $1,500. It's almost the perfect size. I believe it's. Let me look on their site. I think it's, what is it, 38 or 40 millimeter size? Might take a little minute to load here. 40 millimeters, that perfect kind of size, and it's really, yeah, 38.5 millimeters. Which makes it almost perfect, at least for me, my 7.5 inch wrist. This blue dial is really clean, really clean dial. But I don't know how to do what's on that one there. I do like that blue dial. Have these ones, like I said, they have everyone, and then they have the 903, which is actually the chronograph that I would even over a Navitime, the blue, and I just haven't really. I've tried them on around, and that was the 41 millimeters, 43 maybe. They called to me, and I kind of like the looks of them. I'll go down. 903. Sorry, my computer. There's the Mocha 556, or the regular black dial 556, which. Of course, the Frankfurt chronograph. I think it's being a little slow because I'm doing a live stream and then sharing the screens. So sorry about that, guys. But definitely once I get down, and of course, as you guys know, that Doom is the Yuan, and that is probably one that I sadly sold last year. One of my watch shirts. What's up, Flip and Zippo? Just talking about the differences in why people would choose one or the other, Zen versus Oris, or Oris over Zen. Like I said, I just feel like they're both in that same price range of what people would feel like at like a luxury timepiece, entry level luxury timepiece. What you wearing? What's up, Eric? You have the 857, the UTC, and the Blue Aquas were your main ones. Nice. Those were both killer pieces. Great start for sure. And like I said, even with me wanting the Rolex, I want a Rolex Submariner. I'm thinking about consolidating my collection. I don't know if I'll let go of the Omega, but it may be a success for it, the Rolex, the sub. But even with me consolidating my collection, I feel like the Zen 104 will be a mainstay in my collection. Like I I feel like this is going to be one that I'll always keep just because of its versatility. You can wear this thing anywhere. That's another thing I like about Sinn properties, which is really killer. I mean, this computer won't even bother it, just like the Rolex Milgauss, something kind of like that. And then Sinn they implement a lot of technology, especially like in their U1. The U1 I had, of course, is made of steel, as you guys know. And it's like a hardcore dive watch. And with the U1, only a true watch guy or watch girl is going to get that watch. Like I saw a guy wearing U1. I started up a conversation with him about it. The pretty cool guy. They're instantly recognizable watches in the watch community. It's not like a Rolex, which I know I'm wanting the Rolex, but it's not like the Rolex where you're going to recognize it. And here's the 857, which is kind of reminds me of a Breitling as well, but still a really killer piece. And like I said, Sinn has worked with Breitling, and they've worked with Bell and Ross, companies like that, and they've bought patents from Breitling on the Navitimer, which is a lot more history. Helmut Sinn himself, may he rest in peace, used to be a test pilot. He had made different careers. I think he passed away at like 102 last year. So he had the experience to implement. Here is the 903 right here. This is probably the one I would get on the bracelet. This is the perfect size for a pilot's watch. It's not too big. It's at that 41 millimeter, which is perfect for a pilot's watch because you don't want to go too big. I'm Breitling that Clive has about that same size, so they wear perfect. Like I feel like if you go too big on a pilot's, it just gets way ridiculous for everyday wear. And then of course if you guys didn't see the Oris, we'll go back to the Pro Pilot. I believe that's what you have, right, Mike? Is the Pilot? Not aware, Tom. Starting really slow right now. Like I said, I think it's just because I'm screen sharing. I really need to upgrade my computer to a Mac. But then you have editions. Your Skate, that's one of their dress watches you can compare with the Sinn. Like I said, this video is completely subjective. Here's the Pro Pilot, which is at $1,700. Like I said, this is completely subjective and opinionated on like experience with, and I've had experience with both of them. I feel like these are both these are both ones that suit anybody, go in any collection, fit in, the Sinn or the Oris can fit in with Rolex. They can fit in with Seiko. They can fit in with everything. Okay, I thought it was the pointer date, Mike, but basically different specs on the watches. Here's that again. That's there's one of their pilots watches. They are starting to get in luxury pieces. That is versus Oris is starting to get in. Excuse me, they're starting to. I think towards Hublot and Zenith and come, which I get. It's about time for Oris to step up, and will. I don't know their exact production number, but I don't think they make do sell out a lot in other places. But as you know, they do. What's up, Clive? They do talking about your Breitling there. I don't know, but they do 3 being about the same size as your Breitling in 1959. But I don't think they make a lot of pieces, and they sell a lot on watch buys and places like that. But you'll see that they come back to stock pretty quickly. So that's why I feel like Sinn doesn't make a lot of pieces. I think they make just enough to meet the demand. And the Sinn watch is really only known among the watch community, whereas Oris is kind of known among the watch community, but they're also known a little bit more on the higher end as well, just because they have the ADs and places like that. More people might know about than they would on the Sinn. This is what I was talking about, Clive, here, the 903. I'm talking about the 259 meters, like the perfect size, especially for like a pilot's watch, because it's not too big. And the price on this one is a little higher, but I do think it is really good. It's on watch buys it cheaper use because I one thing about the Zens too is they do. I don't want to talk about value on watches, especially the entry level. Like Zen watches do hold their value a little bit better than or feel like because I feel like Oris kind of you lose a little bit of value on those, but Zen you hold more value. Zen is probably the 104 is probably going to be one that I'll keep in my whole collection, consolidating down, and I'm going down to just this watch and my G Shock all metal, and that might be the only two I keep. Probably gonna get rid of the Omega there too to get the Rolex. But anyways, guys, this has been kind of a longer stream than normal. Like I said, I just wanted to talk about both brands for a little bit and see what you guys' thoughts. Which one would you guys pick like as your first entry level luxury watch? Would you pick Zen or have you picked Zen? Have you picked Oris, Eric? I feel like more people, exactly, Eric. I feel like more people know more about Oris than they do Zen. Zen's kind of like one of those in the know kind of brands. And you know that I'm wearing a $1,300 watch, but at the same time, I feel like Oris is kind of a lot more people know about Oris than they do Zen. But anyways, guys, anybody have anything before I get off here? Appreciate everybody checking in. I feel like there's a little bit of lag. You think you go Oris, Jorge? Got one vote for Zen, one vote for Oris. I feel like Zen. If I had to go back, I'd probably go Zen. I think I'm gonna, like I said, I'm definitely gonna buy the U1 again. That it's definitely gonna be a rebuy. Royal Fly. I've seen that one, Eric. I haven't really ever seen one in person, but I've seen them online before. It sounds pretty good. It's like a limited edition, right? Is there a little bit of a lag? Is it my Wi-Fi? Or is it the computer maybe have a little bit of a lag, guys? Let me know down there. Which one would you pick, James? Would you pick the Or? So, but anyways, guys, I appreciate it, and I will catch you guys later.